Alright, we'll try another video because the phone died last time. So, basic information, ProMaster 2500, 156 wheelbase. Van needs a wash, that is tomorrow's project, but in good shape. Exteriorly, besides that, I've got two windows. Passenger side, or driver side, opens both. Passenger side only opens one. That's just the way they make it. Around back, I have the Thule Van Elite. There's two trays. It's hard to see, but you can get two bikes. I only have one. And then I have the ladder mounted here. No screwing. It's just clipped on, super sturdy. It's been there for a while. This back just opens with the door. I've got some utility hooks up there, make hanging stuff easy. Some essentials down here, and then this is the open from the rear. Ladder goes up. I'm just gonna go and do this now before the wind closes the door on me. Got the rear camera, got my rear security camera, and we have the full deck. And I've got a good photo of this already, but you've got two 100-watt solar panels. You got an inflatable raft I'm leaving with oars inside and a 4G Wi-Fi extender, so you can work remotely, plus your two fans, right? So climbing down with one hand is harder. And, all right, disclosure, this handle broke 3 years ago. I've kept my vice grips there. It was a $10 replacement versus a $40 part. Nice and simple. Wall. I have extra hooks in the storage bin that's underneath, so you can put more hooks up there. Right here, there's all the locking mechanisms. The rear camera for the DVR, the dash cam, comes through here. So if ever there's a problem, this is where it feeds into the license plate holder. All right, let's get a wide shot. The deck up top, right? I got bug net because you definitely need that, because you go to Michigan or some of these places in the summer and it's a death sentence with the mosquitoes. So I just hang them there to get out the way. I put this curtain here just as a block. It actually helps with the breeze too. So in the winter, it'll help with some of the draft that will be coming up underneath. So I just fold this up for now. Underneath, we have tons of storage. So you see the bed, first of all, is constructed super strong. First thing we built, everything was built after that based on what room was left. Full-size bed, no cutting, no compromises on it. It's a nice one. We'll start on this side. 25-gallon water tank for fresh water, drinkable. Got the hose to fill it up. You've got a cutoff valve here, so this will cut off water going over and up and around to the sink. If you wanted to install the shower, you would just take the pump, which is on the other side of this, right, on the bench below, and you'd split it off to that wall, which is the shower you'll see inside. We have 110 outlets here, and I'd like to cover that a little bit better because, well, that's water, so I don't use that one. And then there's another one back here behind the propane. Don't get used. I thought I needed them, but I really don't. There's a water filter with a strainer. You just hook this up into it. You just plug that into the hose and then into your water source, right? Hopefully from a house or something clean. I use these totes for miscellaneous foods and stuff that's easy to get to. So simple storage totes. And I've got my laptop and some files over on that side, right? There's actually a gap you can see a little bit back there, but there's a good sized gap between the pump and everything. There's more storage space there. My big suitcase fits, clears the top, right, just perfectly. So I can't get an even slightly taller suitcase. I put the rugs in here today. This is just carpet tiles, right? So super replaceable. Nice hard laminate underneath, the stick together kind, not the roll on. Tons and tons of space. I can fit 8 27-gallon totes here. All right, crawl inside, hit my head. Watch for the beams, right? So folding charcoal grill, some charcoal. Got the propane 10-gallon here. It's got the safety on, off. This is a camp shower, so I don't have an indoor shower. I have a pop-up tent. Actually, it's sitting outside. I forgot to bring it back in. This is an extra net because, well, that happens when you go in and out constantly. And there's this little storage bench on top of the wheel well, and tons of space there, plus the oars. So I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm gonna move my 3-door chest, and underneath the well, you've got the jacks and you've got a saw. So when you go camping, 3-door chest has a couple van maintenance essentials. You got webbing, you've got recovery straps, you've got cleaning supplies, you've got Sikaflex, you've got some basic repair stuff in case something happens along the way. You've got a 50 amp and a 15 to 30 amp cable, and then these are just actually foam pads to quiet stuff down. And then I've got some house care stuff, right? So rags. Oh, I pulled that too far. And if you forgot your toiletries, I've got all these hotel supply things, right? So hopefully that's just a temporary. You're not using that full time, but I'm going to be putting this up for rental if it doesn't sell. And so, guess, portable iron. This thing is super cool and easy to use. And some heating pads. It's just a cheap 3-door chest. Target. I've got the water tank over here. So just removable 7 gallons, comes in from the sink, just gravity fed. There's the accumulator pump, and I'm not going to pull this stuff out right now, but the water pump is on the other side, and you can see how the hose runs across into the accumulator and then back into the sink. So there's another gap over here, so plenty of stuff to hide over there. So you want something like to hide your laptop bag while you're out of the van, so it's not an easy grab, smash and grab for anybody. That's where I recommend it, or where I have it here, plus I push it further in, so it's completely out of the way. Carpet has been great because it makes it so stuff doesn't scratch up the floor. So now I have to clean this up because I've spilled it. But tons of storage, right? Tons and tons of storage. 8, 7, 27-gallon totes plus more. We'll just get the bed view now since we're back here. So from the back, we've got lots of pillows. I have too many pillows and more pillows because I love pillows. We got the electric. I just ran this as a temporary, and I've never really needed to switch anything out. Those things have been plugged in for 2 years. Got a shelf here. You got your dimmer switch there. So you have 2 sets of lights here. So 2 puck lights, and that's plenty of light for here. I didn't do any of the marine ones. You got a gap here. I use this for books. It's actually perfect for most thick books that I read. And you'll see I have my laptop and iPad and headphones stashed in the gap between the bed. I'll show it from the other side. But lots of storage. So the first one back here, right? All of them are the same size. Some of them have dividers. I put the dividers in as an afterthought. But extra large packing cubes, right? So that's a lot of space. And it's deep, so you can put a bunch of stuff in there. And you see the little latches right here. So latch. I sleep with my head this way because I like to be able to see out the rest. But you could go this way too if you dare to put your head underneath here. But you'll see that we used the indent, so we actually used as much space as possible, like a flare inside kind of. And that makes it so that the full-size mattress doesn't need to be cut like a lot of people do for theirs. All right, your MaxxAir fan, and you got another one up front. Let's go around. Hopefully my battery won't die this time. I just tuck these in, make sure that's closed. Actually, it does help with draft too, slightly. So again, full ladder, 2 bike racks. All right, and I just stepped on something. We'll start with the front since it's easier. Passenger side, got my tools. Diesel heater is installed. So, well, this is the diesel tank for it, 5 liters. I usually keep some spare 10 liters in the back. It's easy to step up inside of here. You've got the driver's seat. I've got a heated pad and massage pad, so it just runs off the splitter here. So this also powers the dash cam. So this is a split camera. You can do rear and front, or you can do either one. Continuous recording and a loop. That is a hands-free dash unit. So it plays Apple Play wireless, or CarPlay, and Android Auto wireless. We got some storage down there. It's just ProMaster stuff. I keep these rugs here. Keeps it from getting too dirty. Also keeps your feet warmer. Tool bag. This is a picnic blanket, so it's a massive, big one. So it's great. Lots of storage here. You've got another storage up here. And this is, I'm leaving a Cobra, it's a trucker, GPS in the sandbag, and some tools if you were going to change out the head unit. I got a phone mount, and I just keep my travel router up here because it's actually more convenient for me software-wise. Cool. Got the headliner. I've got an internal security camera, so that one will record the whole view, door to door, actually. So it's quite useful. And tons of storage, wiper, hand sanitizer, so forth. Just take a big shot. So bug screens, of course, because you need this. You go in and out a lot, so nice big step up. This is actually a utility box. This is built to hold over 300 pounds. I built it so that my mother could step up into the van. So anybody who has trouble with the high step, right? I'm 5'5", I can do it often, but I do it every day. But also storage for car care stuff. So gloves and cleaners and citronella candles and so forth. Got a mug rack or mat, right? Just plastic. This is an old battery box I use as my garbage can, and I keep my shoes there. This way, we've got our shelves up front. A bunch of handy stuff for people who are renting the van, right? Sunblock and hand sanitizer, masks. Bags. Please don't use a bunch of plastic bags. You can put plants inside of here. Well, that's what I used to have there. We'll get a shot of the whole van, right? Fortunately, wide angle on the video is not the greatest, but you have your living room / office. You've got the kitchen galley. You've got the closet / bathroom. You've got storage. You got the bed and the under storage closet, and then the 3 storage units back there. And so this bed from the other side, and we'll just come this way. So again, galley, office, chairs. The passenger is on a swivel. So if you just do that, you can rotate this all the way around and sit there. Footrest makes it so it's actually doable. High gap. And then I just hang everything off the back. So I got these clips. These are awesome. I use my tripod to hang it there, my coat, my hats, right? Keep those things there. Nice and simple. It also holds an iPad perfectly. So if you're sitting in the office, you can sit this way and have a screen there, plus your laptop and so forth. Up here, we have head storage. So this is all the user manuals, receipts for repairs, parts, and so forth. So lots and lots of deep storage. I'm not very tall, but it's a reach. These are the window shades. So Van Essentials, the really nice ones. Cover the front, cover the sides, and then it's hard to see, but there's one rolled up there. That is the side window. This window, I've just kept this temporary curtain clipped up here, and it's been more than plenty for me. All right, we'll just keep doing this side. So under the bench, this is the couch / office / everything. Needs a little scrub. This is the electrical component. So everything electrical is under here. So your battery takes up this whole half here. So 560 amp hours, 12 volt, but it's in 24 configuration. So 820. And then you have your inverter. It's an all-in-one unit. You have your solar charger. You have your DC to DC. I'm going to do a separate video on this. Lagoon table swivels out completely. You can sit facing that way. You can sit on this side is where I normally sit because my feet can reach over here. And then you can also sit here, or you can put this table here in the middle if you move the cushion and divide the space and have one person here, one person here. So it gets comfortable. I've got just a lawn chair. I've got a kneeling pad underneath, and it actually stays warm because the batteries have a heater blanket and the inverter heat. So you'll actually get warmth from there. Again, both windows open. I'm going to close these. In fact, to cut down some of this noise, I'm just going to close this door. All right, so much quieter now. Kids playing outside. I've got two cabinets. I use the front cabinets for food storage, and you can see these are deep. These are big mason jars, right? I've got two stacked. I've got a bunch of stuff stacked here, and it's pretty deep back there. I have photos that show it empty. Got these little latches because you have to keep the stuff from falling out, right? So nice and deep. I used to have toaster and mixer. When I have a USB mixer, I got plates and so forth. So you can cram that thing with a lot. You got your other max air fan. I put these little inserts in here to keep it warm during the winter and reflect in the summer if you need to. So the shroud is actually removable. You just take these screws off, and there's actually the other reverse side of it. So it's just one of those in reverse, and it just works out pretty perfect. I'm 5'5", I got plenty of headspace. My friend's 5'11", and he can clear it. This is the only spot he has to lower his head. Kitchen. So got the shelves, you got your shoes. You've got one counter space. I cut it to create the stove, but I kept the wood on top so you still have surface area to work with if you're not cooking, right? This flips up to a stovetop. So you got two burners here. I keep those there to stop the rattling some. You got a 9-inch oven, so you can do a pizza in there, because I have. And I keep my pots and pans. It's nice and easy. I didn't use the stove as much as I thought. I actually had the stove bought before I bought the van, and or the oven, right? It's a stove and oven, one unit. And you just move the stuff from behind to fully open it. So I move my mirror and my, hard to do with one hand, right? But essentially that will sit open. It will rest on the butcher block. So it keeps it nice and sturdy. There's no way wind is moving this thing. So you can leave the door open while you're cooking, which I highly advise, and, or minimum, keep the fan on, right? So you got all that space back here, which is where I kept my kettle. It's where I keep some other stuff during travel. I got the non-skid stuff. That helps quite a lot. You have another 110 outlet here. It used to be that the kitchen was shorter, but I had a new fridge installed, and I need it to raise it up. And actually I like it being higher because I can stand here and use it almost like a standing desk. Sometimes I put something just a little bit to raise the height just a bit more. But I use the splitter. This all runs off of the inverter that's underneath there. So you'll see there's a power strip that I use for charging. I have a vacuum right there. But that just runs off there. I keep my candles and cups here. This is nice and secure unless you slam on the brakes for an emergency. This is great. This is coming with me. I love this thing. But just put a cup holder or a place. I'm kind of mad. I took these wood samples or tile laminate samples, and I just use those as coasters, right? Free from Home Depot. You got another storage shelf up here to make life easy. You have the headline or the over space. This is actually very sturdy. You could put hooks and so forth. I've seen people do that, but I didn't want to hang a bunch of stuff. This is that Van Essentials window shade. So nice accordion, strong magnets, and now you got a pretty cover up right there. And it blocks just about all light. I like to tell people that they're not super stealth, right? So even with one hand, I can do this, right? So super simple to strap these up. This was worth the upgrade. I had literally just scraps of cloth like I have over on the other side, and I did this here because I put the wood paneling around. You can't use the same, but it makes it nicer when you're sitting here. It feels more secure. All right, I got my walking stick, umbrella, so forth. These are just more cabinets, so 3 units the same. I put some dividers in here. These were just scrap pieces of wood that I cut and angled, right? Because of course there's a angle to the back of the cabinet. But I just use a bunch of dividers, get my electrical, get my toiletries and so forth, all inside of there. And there's some non-slide inside of there in case you have anything, but I also have these little trays. I just use that and fill this up. This one's just closed. Let me turn this light on. So you have this and the dimmer. So it gets nice and bright with just 2 lights, right? And I have these puck lights here. Change the batteries because at one point I had lights that were covered. Like this one, when you raise this up, it covers the light. So I put the puck light so it's easier if I don't want to turn on the bright lights. So you can see I've got a ton of clothes, right? Too much clothes for one person, and there's more. So I need business clothes. I keep my pajamas out here. It's just easier. You see you have a gap. And so this is actually really useful. I keep my massage gun. I keep the wood for covering the sink. So another butcher block, you can actually use it as a butcher block, right? I keep my water filter there so there's no potential leaks. Cover up the sink like that. You've got more counter space. This usually doesn't slide, but you can put some of this non-slide right underneath and it will be quite fine. It's nice and heavy. This I actually opened up again. This was closed off, just like this piece of wood here. I have the pump water switch here, but I actually put cups here. So I have these 4 metal cups that fit almost perfectly. And it just works out really nicely. Wine bottles fit under here through this gap really great. So tall wine bottles you can put down and over, and those will stand up, and you can actually still put your cups there. So I also have this cutting board, bamboo, plastic. Right? So I like to be picky about that. I have actually never cut on the cutting boards that I cut out of the butcher block. Right? So totally doable, but I just prefer to use this one. All right, so I keep those things here. Again, bookshelf. I've got this USB port extender, so there's much more there. I love this thing. When you're laying in bed, this articulating arm will hold your iPad or tablet, whatever, and then you can angle it and use it like a TV screen, right? So I keep it like that, and I watch TV while laying in bed. People sitting up in bed is unrealistic, but there's enough height for that. It is 6 feet end to end, full-size bed, right? So I'm gonna have to move back to get this, but I have a curtain for the shower or bathroom area. So what I do is I'll just roll it up and toss it back here, or I will take it and I'll roll it up above on the clothes rack. So there is a hanging rack here. Of course it goes all the way across and it's nice and secure. You see I have my camera gear. So I got a heavy backpack with gear in there. I've got a bunch of hangers and so forth there. And so those stay nice and secure. That's another one of these pads. I actually keep it there and it keeps my hangers from moving around because I like to keep this one open all the time just for safety. I got carbon monoxide detector here and I've got another one right there. And I like to be not dead, so I keep my toiletries there to keep that open. This is a closet and it was meant to be a shower originally, but a gym shower is so much bigger than this thing. This is an emergency, right? So I have the shower pen here. I got some detail photos, basically cut it around the edge of the wall. You see the whole indent that we did around the bed area and over the kitchen area we'll get back to. But there's the rib, and that's where the side impact had happened before I bought this thing. They repaired it. They didn't weld it up pretty. We welded on top of that to make sure it's super secure. But a cassette toilet, right? Super simple, easy to maintain. Cassette is underneath. You take the top off, you take this out, and you go and dump it in a porta potty or a toilet or a camp sewer line. Cleaning stuff, I keep these little pop-up laundry things for like college kids, right? That's where I keep my dirty laundry. And I keep all of my household and cleaning supplies and stuff like that, and apparently some of my tools there. I just put that foam on top so it's nice and flat. It's hard to do with one hand. And so I keep my laundry up there, nice and easy. I can sit down here. I don't have to take it in and out. I sit down. I can go all the way, sit all the way back, nice and comfy, right? And full view. I cheat and I put my iPad here. And if I have to sit for a while, there you go. All right, so back to here. Sink, full kitchen sink. This has one of those extenders. This could actually reach if you take away the obstructions I have. I've got stuff stored underneath, but it can reach there. The shower pan does not drain. So if you buy in the unit, then you will drill a hole if that's what you want to do, and then it will drain out. If you're renting this unit, you will not be doing that. That's to catch any potential overflow of that toilet, which has never happened. So you got the blocker. Oh, apparently I ran it in my last video. Again, I turn the switch on to turn the pump on. You'll hear it. There's an accumulator to build up pressure, and then you got water coming out. All right, turn it off. And again, water goes underneath, drains into that 7-gallon tank. So nice and simple. I keep magnets on the stove so I can attach stuff like lighters and keys, right? And just random clips and scissors and so forth. All those things you need. Let me sit back here. We've got the dual zone fridge. So I have this set for fridge and freezer. Oh, there's my paper towels. I knocked them down. So you pull this lever, and you wouldn't do this sitting down here because your feet are in the way. But essentially you'll see how very limited space once you do that. Fridge, super deep, right? If you know how big an orange juice carton is in a rum chata bottle, that's extra space on top of it, right? So I got at least more than a hand's length. So you can stack stuff up, stays nice and cold, easy. Freezer, having ice cubes on the road is amazing. You can take the tray or the mesh, the wire out, and you have a little well down there too, but I like to just keep it there. But if you have stuff that's going to stay frozen in bags like frozen fruits or veggies, keep it in there. So I'm just going to push this back. There is actually an outlet back behind there. So if you ever need to do additional wiring, there's an actual DC port outlet there. And that's actually what the pump runs off of. So it's split here, and it runs across. So you saw it taped to the hose, and it goes to the water underneath, right? So I use a little camp light when I do come under here because you'll need some light, but I like to just keep that there. I have the little wood thing, hiking stick, old hiking stick I cut, and it just works perfectly to, one, keep the carpet there, but also keep things from sliding forward when I have totes there. And then I will usually put a piece of wood, scrap wood that I have, to keep it when I have totes higher up, anything from falling forward. Because momentum, things will fly that way every time you break. So you have to work on getting everything secure. All right, so again, full bed, full kitchen, sink, stove, and oven, dual zone freezer, fridge. It also has a battery, so that's one thing I forgot. It will still run for a good half hour if your power goes out. It's not going to run all night unless it's a cold environment, then it actually would. All right, this curtain, I put this here on a shower rod, tension rod, and I just use that if I want to block off the view. So if I want to keep my doors open, but I want to use the toilet without having to close everything, I'll just bring it across and I'll clip it onto the towel or paper towel rack and use that, right? This switch is actually the bathroom light. So there is a light, you just can't see it because it's covered up by this right now. But if you're not having those things, you can actually have a bathroom light. So it's useful when you're closing this and you don't have as much sunlight coming through. But I'll sit here. This is my work view, and I get a nice view to the side. Again, sometimes I'll clear this stuff and I'll put an iPad there, but most of the time I just work off this. This is a great handy thing, even for like hotels and so forth, but just mount my phone here, second screen, or that becomes a work area. So I come over here and I sit here, and this becomes my view. Got plenty of sunshine here, but it's not coming straight onto my screen. If I need to, I can put my shades up, right? I just learned that they make a new mount that you can mount the Lagoon table there. And I actually do have an extra mount kit to the side of the batteries. So if you buy in the van, you might actually have a project where you can mount another mount here and switch the table off when you want to. But nice and comfortable. It is roomy, it is sunny, sun's going down. These lights stay up bright. Curtains block all light. You put these up and it blocks just about all light too. Or again, if I want to make this chair accessible or store stuff there, I can just put the window shades that are up here along the windows, and those work great too. I'll do a separate video for electrical. Electrical is complicated. It's DIY, but again, there is a massive amount of storage to the point where it took me 3 days to clear this place out, because you can just fill it up so much. Lots of working space, big sink. It's easy to do your dishes in. Not giant pots, but I don't have giant pots. Kettle is a must-have, right? So I'll leave it for the rento or buyer, but you'll probably want to buy one of these afterwards. Desk space. This was scrap wood. You can put another one inside of there. Plenty of ventilation from the windows. 2 windows, 2 fans, right? And of course, you can open the front. AC will cool off up until about the office area, but that's about it. So if it's a really hot day, I always sit here and I'll turn the AC on and have the car running. I can charge off of the DC to DC. I can charge off the solar, and I can charge off the shore power. So you can see I left the plug hanging because I'm not plugged in right now. And I've got security cameras here inside. I've got security camera in here. I've got the pan and tilt one on the outside, and then I've got the rear camera.